Hi guys and welcome to Crazy Pepper Revenge. This channel is all about crazy true stories, stuff that happens in real life when things get a little bit messy, people dealing with drama, cheating, lies, breakups, and even revenge. Some stories are wild, some are emotional, but all of them will keep you watching. If you like real talk and real situations, you're in the right place. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and stick around. This is Crazy Pepper Revenge, where the stories get spicy.
I didn't abandon her. I simply watched. Considering her creative career, she had plenty of rescuers, didn't she?
So this happened a few months ago, and I'm still processing everything. I'm Bob, 34, head of product development at Riker Industries in Denver. My wife Donna was 32, worked in security equipment sales, traveled constantly for work, sometimes 2 weeks out of the month. I was in Oklahoma City celebrating a business deal with my buddy Toby when I saw this blonde woman at the bar. She was surrounded by burly guys, pretty drunk, wearing a short skirt and sleeveless top. What caught my attention was her resemblance to my wife. Same blonde hair, same rose tattoo on her shoulder. But it couldn't be Donna. She was supposedly in Houston on a 4-day business trip working with factory management. The woman walked past us holding hands with 2 men, one black and one Hispanic. She caught my eye and flashed this dark blue gaze before they all chuckled and left together. Something about her unsettled me deeply. "Hey, Bob, you all right?" Toby asked after they left. "Yeah, it's just that this woman reminds me so much of my wife Donna," I said. "Isn't she supposed to be in Houston?" he questioned. "Yeah, she is. But there's something about this blonde that's unsettling. Hard to explain." I asked the waitress about the blonde woman. She said she'd seen her around a few times, always surrounded by guys, and warned me not to get mixed up with her. When I tried calling Donna that night, every call went to voicemail. When I called her hotel in Houston, they said she'd checked out that morning. This was weird because she always kept me informed of schedule changes. She texted back saying she was tired and at the hotel, but something felt off. I wrote back asking where she was, and she replied, "At the hotel. Where else?" Her follow-up message said she'd be home Friday evening as planned and added, "Love you," which I interpreted as her way of saying, "Don't bother me." When I got home Friday, she was already there, but acted strange when I tried to join her in the shower. She screamed and recoiled from me, which had never happened before. "What's wrong?" I asked. "I haven't seen you in days, and you're acting like I'm some kind of assailant." "You scared me half to death," she said. "Please let me just take a quick shower, and I'll be out in a few minutes." Her explanation was that there was a bathroom leak at her original hotel and she had to switch. She forgot to mention it. Then she dropped another bomb. Her territory was expanding and she'd be traveling 5 days a week instead of her usual schedule. 4 or 5 days a week? Every week? I exclaimed. "I hardly see you as it is." "How long is this going to last?" "I'm not sure. Until they find someone to replace the other rep. Hopefully within 3 months," she replied. This pattern continued for about a month. She'd leave on business trips, call me every evening, and we'd spend weekends having passionate sex. Then one Monday morning, I felt this intense burning pain while urinating. Having been in the Army, I recognized the symptoms immediately. I went to my doctor and got the diagnosis I dreaded: gonorrhea. Doc Brown asked about my sexual history. I told him I'd only been with one person in 7 years, my wife. He gave me that look doctors give when they know your world is about to collapse. "I understand," he said sorrowfully. "She needs to see a doctor urgently." He gave me antibiotics and said no sexual activity for 2 weeks. That's when I hired a private investigator, James Hammer, professional guy, well-appointed office in a business park, nothing like the smoky rooms you see in movies. His attractive receptionist led me to his office, where this burly man rose from his seat. "James Hammer," he introduced himself. "What can I do for you today, Mr. Carson?" I told him everything, and he recommended a divorce lawyer, Robin Hawkins. "She's the sharpest legal mind around. Sharks avoid her path." While explaining the situation to James, I remembered I'd installed a phone tracking app on Donna's phone months earlier when she'd lost it during a trip. I checked the app. Her phone was registered at the Courtyard Manhattan Hotel, but she'd told me she was staying at the Times Square Hotel. Another lie. "This seems more complex than a typical infidelity case," James said. "Your wife is evidently concealing something from you, and she's gone to great lengths to keep you in the dark." James said he had associates in New York who could help, but it would cost extra. I didn't care. I needed to know what she was really doing. When I got home, I decided to search through her locked desk drawer. I had a key just like she had one to mine. I found bank statements from an account I didn't know existed with over $500,000 in it. There were deposits from something called Stanton Enterprises and withdrawals for expensive clothes, jewelry, wigs, hotel stays, and plane tickets. One ticket was a round trip from Houston to Oklahoma City, the same time frame when I saw that blonde woman. But the worst discoveries were yet to come. I found receipts for 3 visits to Planned Parenthood over the years, and medical records showing she'd been treated for gonorrhea before her recent trip. She'd had 3 terminations during our marriage without telling me she was even pregnant. Then I found tax forms showing she'd been making way more money than she'd told me, and a contract with Stanton Enterprises. From what I could understand, she'd agreed to star in at least 5 adult films annually for 5 years. The contract was 3 years old and notarized. I searched her closet and found bags of revealing club clothes, wigs, including one like the woman from Oklahoma City, colored contact lenses, and temporary tattoos. There was also a DVD labeled DD and the Boys Volume 1, Raw Footage. I watched it. It was Donna in a red wig performing sexual acts with multiple men without protection. At the beginning, a man asked if her husband knew what she was doing. She said yes, and that I was okay with it because I could never satisfy her. Complete BS. I never said anything like that. I was devastated. All the love I'd felt for her vanished, replaced by burning hatred. I went to Hitchhikers, a bar I frequented, ordered a burger and beer, and tried to process how my marriage had been a complete lie. The next morning, I met with Robin Hawkins earlier than planned. She reviewed all my evidence and said this was more complex than typical infidelity. She filed divorce papers immediately and gave me her business card with her personal cell number. A few days later, I met with James, Robin, and 2 FBI agents, Agent Smith and Special Agent Jones. Turns out Harold Stanton ran a national strip club chain and was involved in some kind of sex trafficking operation. They suspected something similar to a cult case from a few years back where the ringleader got 120 years. James showed me a photo of Stanton, disheveled-looking man with slicked-back hair. That's Harold Stanton, and you're spot on about him being creepy. He's heavily involved in the adult film business. He explained that Stanton started an exclusive men's club 5 years ago. Entry cost $5,000 and required being well endowed, at least 9 inches. The club had branches nationwide and held monthly parties, sometimes recruiting local girls. So my wife was one of them, I said. Yep, she's been at it for at least 5 years, James confirmed. She's been shortening her work trips by a day or two to attend these events. James revealed that about 3 years ago, Stanton started filming the activities for profit. Participants got a cut of the earnings. Your wife agreed to take part, signing a contract committing to 5 videos per year. So far, she's made 15 films. The FBI agents explained they needed to arrest Donna and asked for my cooperation. We planned the confrontation for when she returned from her business trip. Sunday came, and Donna walked in with her luggage, smiling until she saw all the evidence laid out on the kitchen table. I told her to sit down. It was you I saw in Oklahoma City, wasn't it? I asked. The mask finally dropped. She admitted it was her and said those guys would have stomped me into the ground if I'd approached. She was completely cold about it. I asked about the terminations. She said there were actually 4, including one before we got married. When I asked if any of the babies were mine, she said maybe, but she didn't want to risk having a mixed-race child since she'd been with Black and Latino men. She said she didn't want to be burdened with children. She explained she'd been doing this for at least 5 years, even before we got engaged. At first, it was every couple months, then monthly, then every business trip. She met Stanton and everything escalated. Her reasoning? I like sex with multiple men. You are a great husband and wonderful lover, but there's a difference. You made love to me. They just had sex with me again and again. It never changed how I felt about you. I still love you. I called her a stupid fool and reminded her about the gonorrhea. She admitted she regretted that, but didn't include me in her list of partners when getting tested. When I told her I'd filed for divorce, she laughed and said I didn't have the courage, that she'd bury me in court and take everything. She even threatened that Stanton and his associates might hurt me. That's when I called out, "Okay, now you can come out." 5 people emerged from my office. James with the divorce papers, the two FBI agents, and her parents, who I'd called to witness everything. "Donna, I'm so ashamed of you," her mother said. "How could you do this to Bob?" "I'm just following in your footsteps, Mom. You're the one who told me to grab everything I can get," Donna spat back. Her parents were shocked by this revelation. Her father apologized to me and said they'd take all her belongings. The FBI agents arrested her on charges of conspiracy, racketeering, and sex trafficking. James got her to sign the divorce papers while she was in handcuffs. Her parents were devastated and ashamed. 6 months later, the divorce was finalized. Thanks to Robin's work and the criminal charges, I kept almost everything. Federal authorities arrested Stanton's entire operation. Donna was denied bail and had to use most of her savings for legal defense. I visited her once in jail when the final divorce papers arrived. She looked terrible. Lost weight, dark circles under her eyes, wearing orange jumpsuit. "You look like crap, Donna," I said. "Yeah, well, orange isn't really my color," she replied. I told her I'd watched some of her videos and found them disgusting. She admitted that each video started with a small guy being beaten and tied up in a chastity cage, apparently representing me. It was her fantasy to do that to me. I told her she was twisted and that if she'd ever tried that in real life, I might have eliminated her. I also mentioned what I'd heard about what she and Stanton did to other girls. When she asked if I expected her to cry and apologize, I said no. That would require having a conscience. "You know, looking back, it's probably for the best you never had kids. You were a lousy wife and would have been a lousy mother," I said. I ended by suggesting she'd do everyone a favor and end her life, that the world had enough problems without her wasting air. "Oh my God, I turned you into a monster, didn't I?" she asked. "You really despise me, don't you?" "Yes, I genuinely loathe you with every fiber of my being. Because of you, I doubt I'll ever love or trust another woman again. I hope it was worth it." She realized what she'd done to me. I told her she was right. I hated her completely and doubted I'd ever trust another woman again. Donna eventually cooperated with authorities and got a 5-year sentence in exchange for her testimony. Stanton got 105 years. Her parents went through a rough patch and nearly divorced, but are trying to work things out in counseling. I sold the house, bought an apartment near work, started going to the gym, and began therapy with Dr. Branson. I've dated a few women since then, but nothing serious. The betrayal by someone I loved and trusted for years is hard to get over. But things are looking up. I have my job, my freedom, and some women at work seem interested in the new me. I'm still working on my trust issues, but who knows what tomorrow brings.